Today is the day that America has been waiting for. Unity, pride, passion. It is the day where all of us as Americans come together to celebrate this very special moment in our nation's history. It is November 5th. And Rob, that signifies one of the most important moments in American history. And I'm talking about the return of the Gameday Everyday podcast here on this platform. Sir, it is so good to see you. To our loyal listeners, it is so good to have you back. Patriotism at its finest across the aisle is the return of this lovely, lovely platform. So excited to be here, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, all precincts are reporting, and it's 100% unanimous that the listeners wanted us back. And we appreciate both listeners for wanting us back. We're going to give you a great update. It's been a heck of a week and a heck of a last few months that have poured into all the announcements, and we can't wait to talk about all of them.
It is certainly an exciting day. And of course, we are all in support of our civic duty and democracy and going out and participating in the vote. And I know by the time people are listening to this podcast, Election Day will have come and gone. But certainly Team Tampa Bay always supports getting out to vote as well. But so excited to be back. Welcome to our loyal listeners and to those that are just getting a chance to listen to our podcast for the first time. This is the Gameday Everyday podcast alongside the executive director of the Tampa Bay Sports Commission, Mr. Rob Higgins. I am Ryan Bass. So excited to be here. Rob, this has been a flurry of announcements within a week's time, and we're going to get to all of them here. But I just have to kind of ask you as we set the table for what has been such an exciting week and what's going to be an exciting weekend and next few months here in Tampa Bay, just how amped you and your team are with what is to come here for our amazing hometown, for the flurry of events we've got coming up, not just into 2025, but also into 2027 and beyond.
Well, we always say the future is very bright with Team Tampa Bay, and there's no doubt not only our team, but all of our community partners have been working hard behind the scenes over the last several months and even years in order to make these three announcements in a row here. When you look at this past Thursday, this past Friday, and then Monday as well. So a lot has gone into it. It's taken a lot of organizations and individuals hard work and effort to make these announcements possible, to make one announcement possible, let alone three like this. And so it's been an awesome run, but now really the fun begins. You announce these events and then you pull together and make sure they go off without a hitch. So that's what we're most excited for, but certainly are pleased with the rollout as well.
So excited for the weeks ahead and the months ahead and the events you're talking about and the big news. Obviously, we've got Orlando City Soccer and Inter Miami going to be playing the Florida Derby preseason edition coming up at Raymond James Stadium. That's going to be in February. In 2027, we've announced that the Florida Georgia game is going to be at Ray J here in the Tampa Bay area, as there's construction underway and stadium renovations in Jacksonville, which has, of course, been the neutral site location for this series for quite some time. It's going to be embarking here on Tampa Bay. We'll get to that. I know you and your team were up in Jacksonville taking some notes and observations from that rivalry series this past weekend. The Savannah Bananas, they had plan to make a 2025 stop at Tropicana Field, but obviously Hurricane Milton and the impacts that have been had on the region here in St. Pete, that is now moving to Raymond James Stadium, the first NFL venue on the world tour for the Savannah Bananas. We'll get into that. Flutog, Red Bull's Flutog is going to be in Tampa Bay down by the convention center this weekend. And of course, the road to Tampa Bay begins with the women's college basketball season. All of that and much more coming up on this episode of the Game Day Everyday podcast. But we start, Rob. Let's just go with the big announcement that was set, just this week, where Orlando City Soccer and Inter Miami will play the Florida Derby preseason edition here at Raymond James Stadium. That's going to be on February 14th, 2025. So excited for not just Orlando City fans, Inter Miami fans, but soccer fans in general to be able to witness first class event here at Raymond James Stadium. It's going to mark the first MLS match hosted at Ray J since 2001. Lionel Messi, the GOAT, will be in town, of course. Sergio Busquets as well. And you've got a legion of really, really talented players on the Orlando City side to be featured as well. Rob, how did this come together? And how excited are you to feature the world's fastest growing sport here in our home turf of Raymond James Stadium?
Well, it's been really several months in the making. We're fortunate to have a great friendship with Jared Dillon, who's the president of Orlando City. Jared used to actually work with the Tampa Bay Lightning for years, and we've been had a great personal friendship, but then have talked about the possibilities around bringing them here. And so he gave us a call one day and basically reached out and said, "Hey, what do you think about this idea?" We immediately went to work on it. We actually, Tampa is within the Orlando City MLS territory. So anything related to MLS would naturally flow through Jared and company over at Orlando City. And so the discussions started to snowball. We started talking to Inter Miami as well about the possibility for this year, and it all fortunately came together. It's a matchup that we're really excited about. Leo Messi is obviously a generational type of player, a player that you want to, if you have an opportunity to get in the stands to see him take the pitch, you want to do that. So you can tell your grandkids about it one day. And so, we see just, Messi jerseys when you walk through restaurants here. You certainly see Orlando City jerseys as well as all of our local clubs, obviously. But this is a really unique opportunity. The Florida Derby is a great rivalry, and we're really excited to bring the MLS preseason version of it to our hometown.
This will be the first time that these two MLS franchises have competed in the city of Tampa. And of course, will mark the first Florida destination where Lionel Messi will take the pitch outside of South Florida. And certainly exciting. And I think when you talk about having, you talked about a generational player. I mean, he is arguably the world's most famous athlete and one of the greatest athletes to ever walk this planet. And to get a chance to see him in person here in town, Rob, you mentioned that's a story you tell, to your grandkids that gets passed on from generation to generation, and so certainly excited for that. Now, the official match pre-sale will begin at 10 a.m. on November 13th for those registered at soccerintampabay.com. Can you give the folks just that are listening an idea of how they can get in on the action and make sure that they can secure their tickets to this event coming up on February 14th next year?
Absolutely. So between now and November 12th, you want to log on to soccerintampabay.com and submit your information for the exclusive presale that will take place on November 13th at 10 a.m. So if you've signed up for that, you'll receive the presale code from us in advance of 10 a.m. and you'll be able to secure your tickets while they last. We know it's going to be a very popular ticket. We've already seen thousands of registrations ever since we announced less than 24 hours ago. And then once you get to the general on sale, which will take place November 14th at 10 a.m., you would just head to either soccerintampabay.com or ticketmaster.com to be able to secure your tickets. But as you've seen across the country in the couple years that Messi has been with Inter Miami, it's a very popular ticket. We do anticipate him playing that night. I know there's always questions around that. Can't predict the future in terms of injuries or anything else. But certainly in our conversations, we do anticipate him playing that night, and we anticipate what's going to be a great night for soccer here in our community. I mean, you look at the rich tradition of soccer. A lot of people don't realize our very first professional team here, predating the Bucks and the Lightning and the Rays, was the Rowdies. And this professional sports community was built around soccer, and this is an opportunity to pay homage to it with a really special matchup right here in our hometown on February 14th. I know you don't have Valentine's Day plans yet, Ryan. This is a chance. I'm giving you plenty of warning. You basically, you got 3-ish months, 3.5 months to be able to find that date to bring out to see Inter Miami and Orlando City.
I will be swiping right a lot to make sure that I can secure a date. So 2 tickets, Make sure I will be on that list, and I will make sure to get out there and support. And super excited. And Rob, you brought up the Rowdies, and I wanted to make this a conversation as well, just inclusive to the whole Tampa Bay area. When you talk about bringing teams like Orlando City and Inter Miami here to the Tampa Bay region, how much does that lift up the soccer community and really shine a light on the sport here regionally, that features one of the biggest stars in the planet in Lionel Messi?
I think what really makes our sports community so special is that everybody sees all these different organizations, all these different professional teams in our colleges understand the value of these big events to our community. And we don't do it in a vacuum. We make sure that each of these entities knows what we're up to and what we're in discussions on. And they've been just so supportive. And so I'll take each of these three announcements. I mean, you look at the opportunity to bring Orlando City versus Inter Miami here, and candidly, Leo Messi here. The fact that our local soccer teams understand what type of opportunity that is, and they're supportive of it. They knew in advance of it, and then you look at the Savannah Bananas, and certainly the Yankees have done a fantastic job hosting at Steinbrenner Field the last 3 years, and they understood why the Bananas wanted to head to the Trop for this upcoming year. And then now both the Rays and the Yankees understand why they are going to play it at Raymond James based off the effects of the hurricane, which we'll get into in just a few minutes as well. And then the third announcement, Florida, Georgia. The fact that our good friends at USF, understand the value of a matchup like that coming to Raymond James Stadium too. My point is just, I think the cohesiveness, the overall vision and commitment that all of our different community partners have to be able to make this the best sports community possible. It takes a diverse group of offerings. It takes bringing as many of these different events as possible here to help galvanize the community and also have a tremendous economic and social impact on the community.
And I think that's the big thing, right? And I know you said this on social media as well, but a rising tide lifts all ships, and it really benefits everybody in our community. And so we're super excited for the work that the Tampa Bay Sports Commission does in bringing these world class events here. And I think again, it's going to highlight our hometown in a very special way, and super excited for it. You had brought up the Savannah Bananas. I'll get to them in a second. I know you had the opportunity this weekend to head up to Jacksonville to take in one of the best rivalries in all of sports, and that would be Florida, Georgia. Coming up in 2027, Rob, we have the opportunity now to host this incredible college football rivalry series at Raymond James Stadium. It's going to be an incredible, rich tradition type event that's going to be here in our hometown. We got a lot of Florida Gator fans that call Tampa Bay home that are super excited about this announcement. How did this come together? And obviously we know Raymond James Stadium, no stranger to premier football events, whether it be the College Football National Championship just a few years ago, the Super Bowl, of course, where Tom Brady was able to hoist the Lombardi Trophy, and now we'll have this rivalry series as well. How did this come about? Because I know fans are super excited to get involved and be able to watch a really good rivalry right here on our home turf.
Well, as the Jacksonville stadium renovations started to unfold, and I think both schools started to understand that 2026 and 2027 would not be possible to be hosted in Jacksonville. I think they started to have these type of conversations around the state, basically, to be able to understand what their options could be. So it's probably been something that's been talked about for the last year and a half or so. I can tell you the competition was very stiff to be able to land the 2027 game, which was the Florida home game. And then, naturally 2026 was the Georgia home game. It flip-flops every year. And we're just so excited. I can tell you, I was really pumped going in to the announcement and going in to see it firsthand, but I actually had never been to the event before. So to then see it in person and see the excitement around it, the pageantry of it, the passion related to it, and to know that it's going to be in our hometown in what's less than 3 years is amazing. So we look forward to rolling up our sleeves with all of our community partners, working together to make sure that The 2027 edition of Florida Georgia is the absolute best that it can be.
These two SEC powerhouses have met over 100 times during their history, and the game was actually last played in Tampa in 1919. So
I
over
didn't even
100
know that.
years.
I read that,
Isn't
and
that cool?
very few events predate me now in my age. But that one, when I read that, I was like, oh man, that was awesome. The one thing I do want to mention, and you and I have talked about it previously, but Leonard Levy has meant so much to our sports community. Without him, we would be nowhere close to where we are today. Leonard was not only a huge fan of Team Tampa Bay, a huge fan of our community hosting these events. I mean, he was a pioneer and got, our several Super Bowls here, as well as many other events. But then he was a huge Gator fan. And I just know that he's smiling down on us, proud of us for everything that's happened, especially when it comes to this announcement. But he'll be with us in spirit leading up to and during that 2027 game. So that makes it even more meaningful for us for sure.
And Rob, I know you had the opportunity to go up to Jacksonville, and it was not just you. You had Claire there, of course, Mike, members of your team, and I know when you do go to a lot of these events, you're taking notes, you're observing, whether it be signage or logistics, right, to really see how things are kind of set up for an event like this. And when you guys went up there, what stood out? What notes did you take? What were your main takeaways that you hope to build upon when the game does come here to Tampa in a little under 3 years?
We had a great jam-packed itinerary. Really got there in time for Jacksonville's Hall of Fame luncheon, which commemorates a lot of the all-time greats between the Florida-Georgia rivalry. From there, we got an opportunity to see the Florida Team Hotel and how they set that up. That evening, we saw the Florida Jacksonville baseball game, which is a part of the festivities there too, really their fall game right there at their AA stadium in downtown. And then we checked out a couple of different alumni events as well. The following morning, we got an opportunity to meet with administration from Florida and talk about these next few years, as well as things that we should be looking for leading into and during the game. And then once we got on the stadium campus, we looked at everything from their welcome and fan fest to their RV city, to some of the tailgate setups they have, some of their other pregame hospitality areas. And then obviously saw the stadium setup and the game and everything that goes into that. And moral of the story, while it was jam-packed itinerary, there's so much that goes in to the event. It really got our wheels spinning in terms of different ideas that we could help bring to the table and working with our community partners, as well as some of the lessons that we've learned through a lot of the events that we've hosted. So the opportunity is truly incredible. The event is beyond impressive. And it's one of those things, as I mentioned, we are walking away from having seen it firsthand, somehow even more excited, which I have no idea how that's possible because we were already really pumped about it.
And we're certainly so excited about what will be an amazing rivalry game. And I'm going to make a prediction. Okay, this is going to be a prediction 3 years out, Rob. This will be a de facto college ball playoff elimination game coming up in 2027 between Florida and Georgia. So you're not going to want to miss it. And we'll have much more announcements coming up soon. And super excited to have one of the best rivalries in all of sports coming here to our hometown. Savannah Bananas, baby. They are back. They are here. And I'll tell you what, I was so grateful to you to have invited me to this year's Savannah Bananas outing at Steinbrenner Field. It was so super cool to take that in, to experience it, to be a part of it, to really relish in what is one of the coolest experiences in all of sports. And it is official. The Savannah Bananas will have their first ever NFL venue. They're going to make an appearance on their 2025 World Tour. Originally supposed to be set at Tropicana Field. Now it's going to be at Raymond James Stadium. That'll be March 15th to the 16th. Super excited. Again, a one-night only special event, Rob. And when we're talking about this event specifically, I live right across from Tropicana Field. I reported exclusively on News Nation a lot about some of the damage that was done to the building from Hurricane Milton. We're certainly thinking of our friends at the Rays and all that is to come in terms of renovating Tropicana Field. But so grateful that we could find partners across the bridge at Raymond James Stadium to find a home for the Savannah Bananas so they could stay here in Tampa Bay and really give people a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, I really would just want to kick things off. Our hearts go out to everybody that was affected by all of the recent storms. I mean, from the people on the beaches to Davis Island to everywhere in between. Those are two storms that are the most challenging ones I've seen in my 45 years living in this great community of ours. And not only were they, two of the worst storms, they were back to back and within a few weeks of each other. I don't think I've ever seen storms like that. And then I also have never seen the community come together like that and try to be a part of the solution instead of being a part of the problem when it came to the recovery. When you then take a step forward and start talking about the Savannah Bananas discussion, just really our hats off would be to all the different partners, from Tropicana Field and the Rays to our good friends at the Tampa Sports Authority and Raymond James Stadium, and then most importantly, to our dear friend Jesse Cole and the Savannah Bananas. They had an opportunity to go just about anywhere in the country with that date, but they knew how important it was to our community to have them here. From putting smiles on people's faces to the economic impact that's involved when it comes to our 50 to 60,000 tourism and hospitality employees. He probably could have gone somewhere for a better deal or more lucrative deal. But he knows what it means to us. And for that, we could not be more appreciative. You look at the evolution of the Bananas to go from 6 MLB parks last year to 18 this year, 17, 18 this year, however many it is. And then to take this next step and go to 4 football stadiums, including 3 NFL buildings. We just so happen now, based off the way the date worked out, to be the first one. But they're going here, they're going to Tennessee and Charlotte, and then they're also playing an 81,000 seat Clemson stadium as well. The evolution, the growth, to be a part of it these last few years and to have it coming back and play a role in this next chapter that involves NFL buildings is really exciting. And it's something that we don't take lightly. And again, it's something that we really appreciate Jesse and the Bananas making that decision, when I'm sure, I don't know this to be the case, but I'm sure any MLB park that wasn't picked or selected to be a part of this tour, I'm sure was banging down the doors or calling him, trying to get the Trop date. So for him to keep it here just means a lot. And we couldn't be more appreciative of him making that decision.
65,000 fans expected to take in Banana Ball at Raymond James Stadium, which is going to be awesome. And remember our area. I mean, this isn't uncommon to have the Bananas here in our area, Rob. I mean, there's been 5 sold out Banana Ball games, over 50,000 fans total during the last 2 world tours at George Steinbrenner Field. And so excited to have Steinbrenner Field's neighbor be home to another Banana Ball tournament. And so super excited, grateful to Jesse for his faith in our community. And I know there will be, a lot of honoring for those that have been impacted by these storms when Banana Ball does come to Raymond James Stadium. And thank you for your kind words as well, Rob. You know this community as well as I do. You've lived here longer than I have, for sure. But to see the way that this community has rallied together, it shows the strength of Team Tampa Bay. I've got a lot of friends, a part of the Hurricane Warriors group that's gone out and helped so many people in our community recover from these storms. And so super and incredibly grateful for all that they have done to help our community recover, and excited to have the Savannah Bananas coming to our town and at Raymond James Stadium next year. Now, I know we've been talking about events, Rob, that are in 2025 and 2027, but this weekend, it's a Red Bull Flugtag takeover in Tampa, and super excited for it as well. It's going to be down at the convention center. It is going to be so much fun. November 9th, the upcoming Red Bull Flugtag Tampa. And we've got some judges, some notable names among the judges as well, Rob. But just take fans in a little bit in insight. I know we talked about it on the last episode, but just what to expect this weekend, because it's going to be action packed and it's going to be a lot of fun. And the best thing of all, it's completely free to come out and watch it.
Yeah, it's a spectacle you do not want to miss. They basically had hundreds of teams apply to take flight right in front of the convention center in the basin there. They selected close to 40. There'll be some of the most creative airplanes, flight apparatuses, whatever you want to call them, that will not only bring a smile to your face, they'll probably make you laugh out loud. And there's going to be some crashes probably into the water like you've never seen before. But it's another great reason to come together and celebrate. When we first hosted in 2008, we had about 100,000 people attend our very first Lutog. When we hosted again just 3 years later, over 125,000 attendees came out. So we're expecting another great crowd come this Saturday, November 9th. And like you mentioned, I think the best part of it all, in addition to the great entertainment and the great camaraderie, is the fact that it's totally free. Who doesn't love a free event? So, come out and join us on Saturday afternoon. All the action and fun kicks off right around 1 o'clock, but you want to get there early to be able to see everything that's going on, because it's going to be one heck of a time. That's for sure.
And we've got some pretty cool judges. Among the five, two of which are very well known in the Tampa Bay region. Andre Vasilevsky, of course, goaltender for your Tampa Bay Lightning, and Hall of Famer and friend of Team Tampa Bay, Derek Brooks, of course, Buccaneers legend. Those will be two of the five judges that will crown this year's champion for the Float Top.
Yeah, Vassy and Brooks coming out to help judge things. Who doesn't love those two guys? So that's just one element when it comes to the judges. Red Bull does everything first class, and they do it with a mindset and a lens towards really celebrating the community that they're in. The fact that we are the only Red Bull Flutog stop this year in North America is pretty cool, and it's quite the honor. And we look forward to making sure that the community not only knows about it, but comes out and celebrates what's going to be an awesome day coming this Saturday.
If that wasn't incentive enough, there's going to be two-time Red Bull Flutog Tampa winner, fantastic flying legends of wrestling that'll be out there. Former NFL players Chris Long and Bo Allen's team, Put a Wing on It'll be out there. There's some local ones as well, that are very near and dear to our heart here in the Tampa Bay region, both from Tampa and St. Petersburg. So super excited for the teams that'll be on display. And again, if you have an opportunity to go out there, check it out. It'll be unlike anything you've ever seen before. And so super, super excited to have that event here in our city. Rob, before we get to the start of women's basketball season, I just want to take a second, a quick little somber moment, as we remember the life and legacy of USF men's basketball coach Amir Abdur-Rahim, who, of course, was so beloved in our community, senselessly passing away here recently. And I know that the entire community has rallied around a celebration of life for Coach. And I know, with heavy hearts, the USF men's basketball team and their campaign will get underway. I know you many a times, Rob, have had a chance to get to know Coach Amir quite well. Just wanted to kind of get your thoughts on his passing and honoring his life and legacy, not just this season, but years to come here in Tampa Bay.
Well, certainly our hearts and thoughts go out to our good friends at USF. USF's always been there for us every step of the way, no matter what we've been doing, and we're going to continue to be there for them as part of this. Amir was such a special person. He had this like infectious way about him of making you feel like you've known him all your life and you've been friends with him all your life. I think whether you ran into him once or whether you run into him once a day, you feel very connected to the man. And I think we all have our own Amir stories. I think it's incredible the way that he came into a community and really in less than 18 months time brought so many people together. And you continue to hear these stories since his passing of just the different impact that he had on not only organizations but individuals. I mean, you look at certainly the success in winning is one thing. That's right now the incredible turnaround job. I think that's going to be a big part of his legacy. But what you're hearing are these incredible stories of ways that he connected with the students, ways that he connected with other coaches, ways that certainly he connected with his own players, ways that he connected with the staff at his kids' school. I mean, it's just he every single day had a profound impact on everything that he did. You know, the saying that I think took the world by storm or became the viral moment during his Kennesaw State, that great run and great team he had in his final year there was love wins. And I think the more that you hear these Amir stories and more that we all grieve his passing, the more that statement "love wins" will continue to resonate, because there's no doubt his legacy is going to live on forever. Really want to give a lot of credit to both USF and Kennesaw State. They both did such a tremendous job honoring the person that Amir was through their celebration of life. Now you see, the Love Wins annual basketball series that'll take place, as well as all the other tributes that are slated to happen. They've done a world-class job through what is just an impossible time for everybody. So want to give them a lot of credit, but naturally we'll just continue to think about and pray about Amir, his wife, his kids, his entire family, because he's missed. I mean, there's no replacing what an incredible guy that he is and was.
The Love Wins Classic will be an annual celebration of just who AAR was, and what he's meant to this community and so many communities, not just in college basketball, but across this country. So thoughts with everybody, especially at USF, and honoring Coach Abdur-Rahim's legacy here and beyond. And so thank you, Rob, for your words and thoughts, just in terms of the powerful legacy that he has left behind. It is the start of college basketball season. By the way, buddy, did you see the upset yesterday? UCF knocking off number 13 Texas A&M.
I thought you were talking about Florida beating USF. I thought that was
is that
you were talking about. No, you were talking about UCF. Great.
Yeah. So no,
Find a way to weasel that back in an episode.
just a little celebration,
Yeah.
first storm court of the season happening in Orlando. But it is the start of the college basketball season, and of course the women's college basketball season kicking off as well. And the crowning of a champion will happen here in our community, Tampa Bay, and the women's Final Four at Amalie Arena. It's going to be April 3rd through the 6th. Super excited to once again be hosting that world-class event and have an incredible opportunity to crown a champion here in Tampa Bay. And we kicked off the season, Rob, and kicked off women's college basketball with the Beyond Barriers event, which I know is near and dear to our heart. It's a huge part of what we do from a legacy standpoint, beyond the game of women's college basketball. And so super cool to have that yesterday. I know that was an event that really marked the kickoff of everything, and the road to Tampa Bay really starting with that, and that being kind of a lasting legacy that we talk about well beyond just the game of women's basketball and the women's Final Four.
Well, we are so excited to host our record fourth NCAA Women's Final Four. And so we wanted to make sure we commemorated what's going to be a special season in a great way. And we're able to do that through a Beyond Barriers tip-off event in which Claire Lessinger, who continues to be such an amazing point guard for us throughout all of our women's Final Four planning and hosting, brought together some great leaders from around the community to really commemorate this tip-off to this season in a unique way. We were fortunate to have Lynn Holzman, who helps lead the NCAA women's basketball staff, as well as Danielle Donahue, who is the leader for the WBCA, the Women's Basketball Coaches Association. We had Tiffany Green there. We had Coach Jose Fernandez there right before he walked in the locker room to then take the court to share some words of wisdom. So all in all, just in an awesome event. Another great production by Claire and company, and helping celebrate what's going to be just an awesome season of women's basketball. You look at the trajectory of women's basketball and how in recent years it just continues to be on fire. The TV numbers are off the charts. We had a pre-sale for women's Final Four last week that went in basically minutes. And you just know that come early April, it's going to be a special atmosphere. And we can't wait for the 2025 NCAA Women's Final Four.
As we wrap things up here on this Game Day Everyday podcast, Rob, what can fans expect as we get closer to April? I know it's going to be an exciting season, a lot of really good quality programs that have an opportunity to play here for a championship in Tampa. But for you and your team, what does it look like as the season begins, gearing up for hosting the biggest weekend in women's, college basketball coming up in April?
Well, we've been having monthly site visits really since early on in 2024. I think it was February, but then we have additional groups and stakeholders that come here basically almost every week. So you name it, we every day are working on the women's Final Four. It is such a massive event with a massive impact, both economically and socially. So we're doing everything we can to dot our I's, cross our T's, get ready for April. And we're fortunate we have a lot of help. We've got so many different community partners that are all pulling in the right direction to make sure that our fourth women's Final Four is our best women's Final Four.
And we are certainly excited for it. We'll keep you updated here on the podcast. And of course, TampaBaySports.org is where you can get all the latest information. Our friend Joey Johnston continues to keep you updated with news and notes there as well. So, Rob, can I expect each week we're going to have a flurry of announcements like this moving forward? This is a really exciting week. I want to continue the momentum.
Hard to live up to 3 announcements in 3 days, but we're always working behind the scenes, and there are more announcements to come. I cannot promise 3 in 3 days, though. Let's get through Red Bull Flutog. Let's make sure that we consume responsibly when it comes to Red Bull. I know you're a person that doesn't need a ton of Red Bull. You're already shot out of a cannon. I am as well, but I'm going to indulge this weekend in a Red Bull or two as we take in Flutog, and that'll power us through all the upcoming announcements as well.
I'm pretty sure I saw you chug a Red Bull, if I'm not mistaken, at the press conference announcing Red Bull Flutog. I think in that honor this weekend, I will have a Red Bull each day of the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, to power us through and make sure we get through an awesome weekend and gear up for what is going to be an awesome end of 2024 and into 2025. My friend, I've missed you. It has been great to be back on this podcast. Can't wait to do this again with you, and certainly excited for this weekend and beyond, buddy.
Absolutely. It's going to be awesome. We appreciate everybody's support. We look forward to seeing everybody out at Flutog, as well as all these other great events we have over these next few months.